Welcome everybody to our WBII interviews. I'm Nancy and this is Ugna, and today we have Nira Satguru with us. She's a longtime member and she was a board member of the WBII. She is, among many other things, an educator, an entrepreneur. She does a lot of charity work and is a big advocate of the WBII. And she's going to just tell us a few things today about what she's up to now, because there have been some big changes in her life. So, Ugna, if you can just start us off.
Thank you for this introduction. And I think for those members who know Nira, it's clear she wears a lot of hats. For the new ones, maybe it's a very nice chance to meet Nira in our interview. And we were asking Nira, how can we go around this interview because you do so much? And we came to understand that Nira wanted to come up to the WBII members and to really inspire to think bigger and share her mindset around her strength, that is resilience, getting things done, and financially planning the future. So Nira, if you can just share your knowledge with us and guide us through this, it would be really amazing to hear it.
Thank you, Ugna and Nancy. Firstly, thank you so much for doing this interview series. I think it's a great opportunity for members to learn from other members mainly as well. And I found it amazing. I have been in the Netherlands since 1997, and I will be leaving end of this month. So it's a very special month to be doing the interview. I'm an educator by profession, and I've been employed in the Netherlands for 21 years in teaching mathematics at an international school, teaching the IB curriculum. By main qualification, I'm a physicist. And then, of course, I went in to become an entrepreneur as a side, on the side while teaching. As an entrepreneur, I borrowed money and invested in property. So I borrowed 120% for my first property in Netherlands and then 150% for the second. And it just went from there. I also did that in England. And that really gave me confidence, gave me lots of skill sets. Yes, I did make some mistakes. Yes, it was a huge learning curve, renovating, renting, learning the culture, but I enjoyed every minute of it. And I didn't realize it's been a mindset of learning and learning from your mistakes, helping one another and going on. So that is one of my biggest, I would say, strengths. With hindsight, at that time, you get frustrated, you wonder what you're doing. Okay. Now I'm exiting Netherlands totally, not owning anything, and I'm moving to England and Sri Lanka. So I will be living in Sri Lanka as my home because I feel I can make the biggest impact on helping people and institutions, as well as helping women. I would love to help women out in Sri Lanka as well. So that's my journey, yes. And England will be my home because I have a British passport, and whenever I want to, I'm a lucky one. I can, if Sri Lanka is not a safe place, I can just come back to England near my grandkids. Yes, so that's over to you. What would you like to find out?
From the little chat we had before, I think, as you said, you wanted to share this mindset, actually, because you've really worked on it, from being an educator, having a business, being an entrepreneur on the side. That's a lot. And what struck me was you were saying the way I do things is a win-win-win. So we're used to the win-win, but I loved it. The win-win-win, I think for women, especially from what you're saying of helping women, we often lack this taking the stance and saying, yes, I can win. Can you share how you arrived there, or maybe share a tip for our community, how we can get there?
Yes, I believe everybody can get there because it's a learned skills. I started reading books WBII book club was also very inspirational, the business book club. That was 1 book a month for 12 books. And before that, I read very little. Then I decided to read through audiobooks, and I didn't listen and read only. I decided to have it on 1.2 or 1.5, so I go faster, so that I can get through many more books than I would normally. And reading about the growth mindset, reading a lot about helping myself, my mindset, and my morning routines, my exercise. What I didn't have and what I have now is, if I look after myself, then I can do more for others. And whenever I do a transaction, even when I was selling my house, I decided to help the marketer, help the buyer, and I'm the seller. And I didn't want a marketer who was very arrogant and who was just trying to get just the money. So it was very hard to get markelers like that, but I finally found, and I'm so happy, the young marketer I found was happy to learn from me. And a lot of amazing things happened to him after I introduced that mindset. He had no girlfriend. He was a young marketer. And within 6 weeks of working with me, and I'm changing his mindset, he got a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend. He's bought a Tesla and he's bought a house. I said, you have to have your own place. You are a marketer. I'll tell you how to do it. You're not only selling other people's properties. So I realized, and it was a very big learning about other marketers who try to be arrogant. And so it really works, helping each other, no matter which transaction you're doing. There are no other sides. And I've helped a lot of women in that way. And I think that is the way forward in the world.
So do you think it's your way of taking this? What I see in this pattern is you get something in your mind, you say, okay, this is it. You ponder it, you strategically think of the next steps, and then get to the win-win-win situation. Is it that way?
I think
really,
yeah. But also I've learned one very important concept that I use. It's called harvesting. It's in my mind. I know if a crop is not harvested, you get nothing. So at everything you do, think what is the best time to harvest, but not for a long time. And that has been one of my strengths, harvesting any project. So, and also think big, ask yourself, what do you want? Okay, from it. Don't think small. And if you think big, and then you will get there.
You were talking about what you do when you wake up and how you're going to start the day. Could you share that?
Sure. Yeah. So I read Miracle Morning and I read James Clear, and I practice those routines. I have like a little card on my desk written up. So I wake up and do some stretches in bed, virtually, I don't know, 30, I count to 30 pointing toes in out this way, that way, sideways. Then I do 20 minutes meditation in bed, which is naughty. I should sit up, but I don't. I do that. I do sometimes sit up and do it, try to clear my mind. Then I spent about a minute focusing what is the most impactful thing I can do. I still struggle on having a shower and immediately unless I have an appointment. So that's something I'm still working on. But I also do some 2 minutes of balance exercises and yoga just before the shower. Then I have tiny habits, BJ Fogg. He's an incredible person teaching you how to change your habits. So if you go to the toilet, immediately after that, brush your teeth. So I never think, did I brush my teeth or not, after I started following his habit stacking, it's called. Things you like and things you don't like, you stick together. so that I've done, and then, but I haven't got, we are all human. I haven't got there. I'd love to just have a shower immediately after brushing my teeth, and I'm slack at that. If I'm not going out or if I have no immediate appointment. So anyway, I do that, and at nighttime also I have a routine. So I also do a Duolingo, and I practice a little bit of Dutch for a few minutes until I do 60 points or sometimes more. So that's my morning routine.
Wow.
And evening routine again has some downtime, no what do you call it? I'm not a television person, but no laptops, phones as much as I can, but I break it quite a lot. And try to do journaling, which I don't do regularly, so I need to do that more. I do some journaling, and planning the next day, that I definitely do. What is the most important thing I have to do next day? So I write that down. So even one sentence, however tired I am. So those are things that I do all the time. And then, and then I take a piece of paper and I throw it out. Once I write it, I do strategic planning for any vision, because the visions are all linked. 5-year vision, 10-year vision, where do you see yourself? And how do you, now it is about, all the big visions are done because I've sold all the properties in Netherlands now, and I've also managed to, within the year, buy a property in Sri Lanka, an apartment, which is my home. So that's also done. The big things are done. And now it is how to empty this house, which I call a small minor thing, because it's only furnishing, only belongings, right? Yeah. So you have to put it in perspective. But I have some friends who speak to me in a very way that is like not inspiring, and I try to not engage, not in friends, but I try to say, okay, I'm not going down there. How do you feel? How do you? Yes, of course, I go into my feelings, but at the moment I'm focused on doing, because I have things to do. But I do have lunches. Yesterday I had lunch with Sinead and Charlene in my home, cooked by me, which I'm delighted to say a thank you to all what they do. And Sinead and I are accountability buddies. And so that was a very beautiful lunch we had. Again, thanks to WBII. The connection I have is totally because of WBII. So that's the power of the WBII being there, the trust you build, the connections you build. It's more powerful than people can ever think. Yeah. And I'd like to think I have given back more than what I've got, so I have in the past have helped quite a few women one-on-one, but not for any fee, but just said, you may come if you want. I'm happy to talk you through some things. Yeah. So through so that's it's all about keep training my brain, keep training my resilience, my mindset, my financial strategy, and not just listening to what people say, researching yourself and taking the big steps.
Yeah, and can I ask you maybe the last question of the interview, because you shared so many tips in just a few minutes. It's amazing. So, do you ever lose inspiration? Because we see that energy, we see the drive, we see the planning and the routine set in place. It looks amazing, and I question, do you ever lose the drive or inspiration? Do you have tips of what to do when that happens?
Yeah, so my general drive is there for life, because I feel we are there to help one another. So that's my drive. Another real drive for me has been, I want to make sure my 2 sons are inspired by whatever I do, or I have to be exemplary for my 2 sons. So therefore I can't be sloppy, etc. And then for my students, when I was teaching, I do lose drive. I wanted to start a Taste of Sri Lankan restaurant, but I didn't have the drive to do it because it was not going to be financially successful as I would like it to be. So the research led me to, fortunately, Corona hit as well. So I didn't do that project because I think I'm spoiled because the projects I've done in real estate, the returns are so different and so more guaranteed than a project like starting a restaurant in Amsterdam and a chain of restaurants. So I did research, I can start it off, but I know the amount of energy needed, etc. I could very well do it, but I lacked some inspiration there. Therefore, I said, no, it's not for me. But I'm still in the food industry. I'll do one-off events wherever in the world. Because I don't know whether I told you, I went and trained at Leeds School of Food and Wine in London, which is where Kate Middleton also, I believe, had some training given to do the essential cooking skills exams and chef skills exams over 2 years. So I love that. I did it as a hobby. Yeah. So if you lack inspiration, ask yourself, can I change course? And another thing I keep doing in this journey is course correcting. Make a decision, course correct. Make a decision, course correct. Don't be frightened and let anyone say anything, you're not worried. Lots of people have said lots of things to me in the last 2 years since my husband passed away in 22 February and I made big changes. I listen to them in as much as, thank you, you're concerned, but I totally take what I think is good and don't spend more than just reading that. That's it, because I know what I want. Yeah. And so you get to that.
That's a good place to That's a good place to stop, I think. I know what I want. I think that's a really powerful thing to say to yourself, to the world. I'm going to do what I need to do. I know what I want. Because you're there, you really are there.
Yeah, it's also not being arrogant, but you listen to them because, they feel, it's sure, thank you. You are right. But, I learned that earlier. I would just dismiss people in my young days because but I would say, yes, you're right. Yes, I listen to you, but I think this is the journey I am taking. And I'm in a lucky position because I'm the decision maker of the journey I'm taking. But I had a lot of course correcting to do because I want to take my car to England. Then I realize there's 30% tax on it. Then I decide, no, I'm not going to take my car. So course correct it. What do? Either I take it to Barcelona for my son because I want to optimize. And I'm also interested in the environment. So I don't want to chuck away things anyone can use. Just give it away free. That's okay. So I emptied my rental house in 10 days, 19th of October to 28th of October. Gave away lots of things free on Marktplatz. And it was a 4-bedroomed house. And I was so happy because finally I got hold of some a Kurdish refugee group. And one person I had a contact, he came and their eyes lit up. They took so many things. So they actually were happy to take it. Otherwise, I would have had to throw lots of my kitchen things from that rental house. And 1st of November was the day we were handing the house over to the new buyers, but 28th it was done. So no stress.
So you went back to the beginning of the win-win-win. It's a win-win for you and win for someone else. I think it's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us, Nira, today. I think there's so much to learn in this interview. And yeah, if you're watching, let us know what you've learned. It's really nice always to share the lessons learned among us. And again, so Nira, as she said, she will be leaving Netherlands, but when understood she's staying a VBI member for some time with us. We're really happy to hear that. So if you want to reach out with Nira, you can always contact her through all the information, I suppose, is on your VBI member profile. Otherwise, we have our group here. We hope you share your travels and your projects with us also via the group or whatever you choose. and we'll be looking forward to follow what's next on your plate then.
And the retreat. WBI is going to have a retreat for members and the board in Sri Lanka from 2025.
Right.
To learn the
Looking forward
mindset.
to that.
Learn the mindset, and anyone wants a journey in Sri Lanka, I'm also going to get a travel agent who can then trusting one, but I don't want to be involved. But any profits that she makes, I'm going to ask her to pledge some of it to an orphanage. So I'm trying to do some win-win-win again, orphanage, her, and the getting a trusted travel partner. So lots of ideas as well to help people in need in Sri Lanka.
Okay, I think we're going to have to end our interview. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nancy.
I hope everyone really enjoys this interview. There's lots to learn. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you. Excellent what you do. Thank you.